Hello and welcome. This is part 2 of the Quadratic series that I'm doing. It's a refresher and theory understanding of quadratics, which is going to help you a lot on the long run. So I suggest if you haven't seen the first part, you go ahead and watch it before this second one. Okay, so for this second one, we're going to solve some quadratics problems. Okay. So I have some questions. Let's start by taking x squared plus 4x minus 5. Okay, in order to solve this, okay, or to draw it on a number line or an axis accurately, I will need, as we said, to know two things. First is where are the solutions, and secondly, where is the vertex? Okay, so in the last video we said we have two ways to solve, is the quadratic equation and factorizing, and today I'm gonna start by solving quadratics and then I'm going to show you how to factorize. Okay, so first let's use our formula. So our formula is minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So let's start by solving. So minus b, so my b is 4, so it's a minus 4 plus or minus square root of 4 squared minus 4 times my a, which is 1, times my c, which is minus 5, all over 2 times 1, which is 2. So this is going to equal minus 4 plus or minus square root of 16 minus, okay, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 5 is basically plus 20 over 2. So then we have a minus 4 plus or minus square root of 16 plus 20 is 36 all over 2. This is going to equal minus 4 plus or minus square root of 36 is 6 over 2. So here we have two solutions. As we know, we have two x's in this case. Okay, so we have two x-intercepts. First one is going to be when minus 4 plus 6 over 2. This is going to give me minus 4 plus 6 is 2. 2 over 2 is 1. And the other one is minus 4 minus 6 over 2, because this plus or minus makes me do a plus one time and a minus the other time. So this is going to give me minus 10 over 2, so minus 5. So x1 is 1 and x2 is minus 5. So I'll come on my number line. Let's do a better number line than this, or better axis. So this is my y-axis and this is my x-axis. Let's label them x and y. Okay, so I know that my x1 is going to be at x equals 1 and my x2 is going to be at x equals minus 5, 1. So I have a solution here and a solution here. And by solution, again, we mean where the graph touches the x-axis. So I know that my A is, one second, is doing this, 1 second. Yeah, let's go back. So my A is positive 1, so I know that I'm going to open upwards, okay, and my two intercepts are here. Now the second thing we go to, which is finding the vertex, we know that the x component of the vertex, we can find it using this formula, which is minus b over 2a. So if we look at our formula or our function again, here it is. So minus b minus 4 over 2a, which is 2 times 1. So my x component of my vertex is negative 4 over 2, which is minus 2. And if I want the y component, I will substitute this x into my function. So it's going to be negative 2 squared plus 4 times negative 2 minus 5. This is going to equal 4 minus 8 minus 5 equaling 4 minus 8 is negative 4, negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9. So my vertex is a point with an x of negative 2 and a y of negative 9. So I will come here, I'll have an x negative 2 and a y of, let's say, here is minus 9. So this is going to be my vertex. And now I can draw my parabola more or less like this. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's try. This is by solving the using the quadratic function, quadratic formula. Okay, so now let's try to solve the same equation using factorization. So x, let's use it. Okay, so x squared plus 5x minus, or was it minus? Yeah, no, it was plus 4x minus 5. Okay, first of all, you need to know that not all quadratic functions are factorizable. So I cannot solve by factorization everything. So what do I do when I factorize? First of all, the whole point of factorizing, okay, when I equate this to 0, because I'm trying to find the x where y equals 0, because this is my x-intercept. When y equals 0, this is y. When y equals 0, this is where my x-axis is, and this is where my solutions will be. So in order to solve this, I cannot solve it right away using normal algebra, like moving the 5 to the other side. I can't, other than a linear function. Let's say if we have 2x plus 1 equals 0, this is very easy. I'll just move the 1 here. It's going to be 2x equal minus 1, and then divide 2, my x is equal negative half. That's it. But unfortunately, in this case, I cannot do this. It's a little bit more complicated. So what do? We try to write this function in a different way that's going to be easily solvable. Type. This is called factorization. Okay, first of all, the first step in factorization is looking at this sign right here. Okay, since this sign is a minus, I will get 2 factors of 5 that will subtract to 4. Again, first step is to look at this sign. If it's a minus, I will take 2 factors of 5 that will subtract to 4. If it's a plus, I will take 2 factors of 5 that add up to the middle number. Okay? So, since in this case it's a minus, we will take 2 factors that subtract to 4, which are 5 and 1. 5 times 1 is 5, and the difference between 5 and 1 is 4. So I will just open 2 brackets. I will do an x and an x here, and I will write a 5 and a 1. These are my factors. Okay, so I will take another look. This sign is minus, so the bigger factor, which is in this case 5, because 5 is bigger than 1, the bigger factor is going to take the same sign as the middle number. So this is going to be plus, so that means that the other one is going to be minus. Now, in this way, I rewrote my function into this form, and I will show you why this is helpful. Okay, but to let you to be sure that this is equal exactly to this, okay, we will expand. So x times x is x squared, x times minus 1 is minus x, and then 5 times x is plus 5x, and then 5 times negative 1 is minus 5. If I come and say, okay, this is going to be x squared minus x plus 5 is basically plus 4x minus 5, which is exactly the same as my original function. Okay, so let's erase this. This is just to show you. Okay, so now we have this. We've written our function in this form. So this function was equal 0, so we will equate this to 0 as well. Like, why is this helpful? You know that we have 2 parts. This part is multiplying this part. To get a 0 as the product of any multiplication, we need either one of these two terms to be 0, so 0 times anything equals 0, right? Or 0 times 0 equals 0, right? So we have two options. Either this first bracket is equal to 0 or this second bracket is equal to 0. طب let's try. Let's do the first bracket equal to 0. Now we can solve. X is going to be equal. We'll move the 5 to the other side. It's going to become minus 5. And let's do this other part. So x minus 1, I'll equate it to 0. And I will move the negative 1 to the other side. I'll have an x equals 1. So if just like you see here, our first x is minus 5 and our second x is minus 1. And if we come and look when we solved using the quadratics formula, this is the exact same answer we get. So this is how to solve using the quadratic formula and factorization.